So today I want to share my thoughts on this Korean manga I just finished yesterday. It's essentially an isekai, but it has like a Korean twist, so it's a bit different than your average isekai, but it's basically the same concept. I won't go into detail to spoil it, but it's basically an isekai. The style follows your classic Korean regression revenge plot, but here's the catch. This time the main character isn't the one who regressed, but the guy he meets early on. So it's a bit different than you see it usually, but it's basically the same idea, just it's not the guy, it's the guy he meets. But the protagonist has, as always, the ability to see the stats of other people, so he can check out their profile, their stats, and he knows which persons are useful, which have bad stats, what's their like evolution like. So he's able to tell which people are useful or have any potential in the future in general. Right off the bat, he starts gathering allies and sticks close to this regressor. The regressor is obviously overpowered, like you know it as always. So our MC tries to stick close to him. He also has a snake-like personality and he's quite an asshole. So he uses this ability to the full extent to get the most benefits for himself out of it. This is basically the entire groundwork for the narrative. It's the entire plotline, how it works, and how the story progressed. In my opinion, it's a pretty good read, especially the first 20 to 30 chapters. I really liked how they delved into the character development, politics, and mind games. Plus, there are also plenty of RPG elements, like exploring the pros and cons of different classes, such as, for example, warrior and mage. So basically, early on, I really enjoyed the first 20 to 30 chapters. That's like the peak, in my opinion. They really went deep into like, small scale politics, how people interact with each other. They are put in a very dangerous and unforgivable situation, but they still try, and you can see how the people think, how they work, and they also do your standard low-level dungeon clearing. They learn their abilities, they see what's good in this world, and I really like the way they told the readers which class can do which. So they kind of brainstormed, okay, I could become a warrior, I could become a mage, but is it useful for me to become a mage? I have like 3 magic ability, but 20 endurance. I like these very much RPG-like elements. I personally enjoy it. So character building is one of my favorite things when I play RPGs as well. The first like couple hours is always the most enjoyable. Which path do I take? Why do I take it? That's something I really enjoyed. Also, it was nice to see for the not only the MC but the characters around him. Why should they pick this path? Because of their abilities, of their traits, their characteristics. So it's very enjoyable. And as I said before, I enjoyed that the MC is really an asshole and he shows it, especially to the people who are against him. He shows his true face, but for his allies, he's like this nice guy and he's helping out and stuff. But for other people, it's very fun to see, especially his enemies, how he's against them and how he plotted against them. And just right before the downfall, he's showing his true face. So that's very fun. Also, a good part is when he does this, and the enemy is also a smart guy and is like a more manipulative and like this type of person, political, and it's fun if they interact with each other and they see how they both are, and that's quite a good twist. But the downside to this is after like the first 30, 40 chapters, it kind of feels repetitive. It's always the same mind game, it's the same plot, and all of the characters which were introduced are kind of reduced to like this one character they have, like their one trait. It's all they are, and they are only used to further the plot. So kind of feels like, yeah, we learned a lot about the characters and why they built this part, but they kind of stopped. Now their classes are just random. Okay, you become this class, it's strong. Okay, we need this in the plot. You are this guy, you are this guy, you are this guy. And it feels like the meaningful character building is lost on the reader. At least I don't know if it's different in the actual novel, but in this manga it's like, yeah, okay, I'm an alchemist now, great. I'm the best one there is. There I feel like there could have been some more explaining. I would have liked some more background and maybe less rushed, but that's how the story develops further on. So that's my personal biggest negative. As I said, I really enjoyed the beginning, but later on it just felt like, come on, man, where's my input? Give me more. But yeah. And as I said, it's became quite predictable. So every different fight later on, you feel like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Oh, there's an attractive, strong woman. Okay, nice. When you read the manga, you know what I mean. It's always the same. And yeah, I hope in the future they kind of pull back a little bit on that and focus more on the nitty-gritty things, the small things, and don't scale up too much without leaving too much of a plot hole, in my opinion. And the people become more people-like and not just to further plot of the story. That's my opinion for that. And eventually the focus entirely shifts away from combat in any way. Combat is just like, okay, it's always like 2-3 pictures and that's it, but no actual combat. It's then more like the politics involved with that, and it's just more the mind games. But with the mind games becoming less and less extensive, it just feels quite empty in the end. That's what I would say, yeah. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. I plan to keep on reading. I'm really curious if they stick with the same tropes or maybe if they would change it up a bit. I would love to see it or go back to basics, to the roots, but I think it's always hard to get the scaling right in the late game. So I feel like this is also one of the victims of this technique. If you enjoy isekai, regression, some smart people politics banter, it's fun. It's quite nice. The guy's an asshole. It's like nice to see to not have like a perfect protagonist who knows and can do everything and he's the best in the world. No, the guy gets beaten up a lot, but he uses this to his advantage as well. So it's like a very nice green lining. It's nice to read. So if you enjoy stories like this, feel free to read it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.